I know more of this world than you have even dreamed. That is why I must destroy it.
So that's what we want to do. We want to destroy the myth and the legend that this game is not new player friendly, that this game is not free to play friendly. We've had a year-long experiment to determine this information. Now, let's focus in for a minute on Apocalypse, second strongest character in the game, 100% available, free to play, inside of a calendar year. Now, I was not able to get him. However, I do know of some people that did, some cats right in the Alliance. So we got DJ DSL, he got his unlocked, TG, $19.99, that's a picture of his Apocalypse, and you can see it popped up there in the chat. Inside of a year, he got him. I know Marco in the picture there is working on his, Koala's working on his. It's happening. Ask around. There's people from various servers that were indeed able to get it done. Let's listen to a quote from the Big Positive Geek.
Commander level 95. And I've also got Baby Apocalypse unlocked, which I set myself a challenge to do that before my year anniversary. So before I hit 365 days played, I had Baby Apocalypse unlocked.
Link it in the description. If you're not subscribed to that brother, please do. Right? He got the receipts. Listen, don't believe the gripe. This game is 100% friendly to the free-to-play crowd and to the new player crowd. They want new cats to come in and enjoy this game. Let's take a look at a picture here. What is this? This is my locked roster. So these are all the characters that I did not unlock. They're mostly legendary characters. So that means I unlocked all of the normal characters in the game just through the course of play, right? So that means I could have pivoted. I could have went in any direction. I was focused on Apocalypse, but in reality, I could have took the game in any direction that I wanted, right? And that's positive. That's positive for the new player experience, right? So look at the opposite side, the availability of the characters. These are legendary characters. Okay, I was able to get the Green Goblin, Black Cat, Nova. Again, this year with a starter account. The farmability system that exists right now in the game is great. The options are wide open, and that's what you want. The only difference between the small player and the large player is power, and that's the way it should be. Now, there is a little bit of an issue, in my opinion, with the gearing. So the gearing is good. They're doing a really good job of giving you orbs and things like that to power you up from 1 to 100, but there can be some improvements made. For example, Electro here, right? We have this blue gear bottleneck. I've mentioned it extensively throughout the year. I was trying to power Electro up to go with the new Sinister 16, but we got stopped. Those 2 gear pieces there, those are blue gear pieces. And even with the increase, sometimes they give them to you in stacks of 20 and things like that. It halts your progress for days and days and days at a time. And so I have the pieces now, but more members had already came out, so I changed and I'm using the more modern members. But it's just one point that I do think could be looked at somewhat and be improved. They've made some significant adjustments to the game in the form of reworked characters. For example, right here, Villain 7-1, go look it up on the internet. Everybody's trying to find out as a new player how to get through because the characters that you need for this are not good. But with the rework of the Sinister 6 in this case, now you have a great team, a good group of people you can use to get through this content. Other rework, like Pegasus and whatnot, have increased playability as well for new players. There's all the bottlenecks and stop gaps that you would have not having a power in your roster. A lot of that has been filled with the reworks that have come out this year. Farmability. So they changed the way farmability works and they're putting characters in your hand. So here's the newest original character, Val. I can get them, if I could get to that node, I could get them powered up as a new player, right? One of the strongest characters in the game I have farmable access to. And maybe this character might not be an awesome example, but there's tons of characters that are sitting on nodes in the game and you can just go out and go get them as a new player. Arena. A lot of times people say that Arena, that you can't do it. So again, on the left is the baby account, 1 year in, and my main account is on the right. They're in different Arena shards, but I'm still in the mid 50s. Why? Because the stuff I can control as a player, I can play every day. I can try to acquire, the best teams, right? Free to play. There's no money spent on this account. So at least with that sample size, it looks like it's something that can be done. the main point is that once a year, it looks, if they keep the cadence going, there'll be an arena team, and then there'll be auxiliary members of some sort that we'll find out that can slide in on an arena team. So even if you miss the main release, maybe there's other characters you can get a hold of that you can use to get it done. And I think that's great, right? With all the different characters that are available in this game, you can figure something out to get yourself maybe not in the top spot, but in a competitive portion. Let's talk about raids, right? With the raid teams of today being so strong compared to the old school ones, you should be able to punch through content, right? Ultimates, you just need 5 people, you smash that. And then once you start getting your different teams that you have to have, like for the Doom raid, like your bio and tech team, stuff like that, the only difference between Doom and Incursion is the power of your characters. If you're getting the modern teams, you should smash through that content and be able to work your way up relatively quickly to the Endgame Raids. The difficulty we're going to run into is in the Incursion, because the first Incursion, because it had weird rules that really made it so you could only use one team. But hey, if you can get through Incursion base difficulty, then maybe you can just go ahead and skip up to Incursion 2 and start getting your rewards from there. So again, this is something we've been able to do. We made it to Doom 2 over the course of this calendar year, and it's worked out fine. Cosmic Crucible. Again, here's my record for the year. 52-34 as a new player, right? Winning record, right? The main point is, once again, use the best teams and then look at the rules. If you can take advantage to the rules of Crucible, then you do it. Right? You go all offense. If you can find something, maybe you can take advantage on defense, you do it. But since you only need 6 teams, very quickly, you can get into a competitive position in your Crucible cluster. Alliance War. Alliance War is a little different. We did well. We did well as a Alliance, 62-56, but you need a mature roster, right? Because you need 10 on offense, 10 on defense. So we found that to be difficult, but hey, it's still doable, right? If you get a new team every month, right? That's 12 teams in a year. So that doesn't put a ton on defense, but you can still compete, right? We still did well. Everybody pushed hard. We did really well. One of the points that we want to talk about is the gold economy, right? It's doing well. It's doing well. The problem for the new player, though, is there's not enough training materials. You have tons of gold, tons and tons of gold, but you max out your training materials, and along with that blue gear bottleneck, you have a bunch of stops. So I'm not sure if this is something that can be addressed. Maybe the blue gear would be easier, and then we could skip those steps and make some advantages. So what we got here is recruitment. Recruitment is tough. All right, we had some good players in the Alliance, a lot of good players, and we're fortunate to have that, but we did a lot of recruiting. It's hard. So there's a tools on marvelstrikeforce.com. That's going to be getting better. So we're interested to see what happens with those over the course of the next year. But there's different sites as well that you can use. With the marvelstrikeforce.com, you can give it certain caveats that will pull people from the player base that fit that description. And at least perhaps it'll make it easier to find the people for you. There's Discord servers out there. There's Facebook groups out there. And don't be afraid to use the in-game chat. I mean, people poo-poo that, but especially in the beginning, you're just trying to find groups of people that want to play the game. And then from there, you'll find more and more like-minded people if you need to make adjustments in your roster. But go ahead and get filled up and just start getting some work done. Now, one thing we really ran into is sometimes, right, because there's different ways to play the game. People are at different levels of the game. What is the right thing to do? What's the wrong thing to do? Sometimes there's misinformation. Now, it's not malicious, right? We're not talking about people that are trying to steer people wrong. It's just people have a difference of opinion because they're at different parts in the game. So the advice might not always fit every group of the community, right? It's just like real life. It's just like real life. So for example, Bionic Avengers. Bionic Avengers at one time were the best tech raid team. Why? Because they were the only tech raid team. But people were told after the Incursion came out not to build them. Okay, so people that were below that, so like with my alliance, we were in Doom, and people were hesitant because the experts were saying don't build this team. And it caused problems. It caused friction in the alliance. Again, this is one of the reasons I got into content creation, because I saw that happen in more than one Endgame alliance that I was in. Now, just to illustrate the point, this is Jegsy, great player. And we have hybrids of the Bionic Avengers. That's what he used to get through Incursion Difficulty 6. So he was doing it. It's possible. You can go check the video out. But, right, it caused problems for us on the lower levels. And what happened is, again, it cost us time. It divided the alliance. It made it so that we could not progress. So you just got to take the information at a grain of salt. A person may be a knowledgeable person in the game, but sometimes the advice just doesn't fit, right? And it causes people to slip and fall, and it can take alliances time to recover. So until the Pegasus team came out, we were just stagnant and didn't make progress in Doom. And that's not right. That's not right. It can take a long time to recover. So we got to understand that there's more than one way to get things done out there and listen to multiple voices. Okay, we want to say thank you 100% to the Alliance, to the Legends of No Cap. You cats are amazing. You cats are amazing. Everybody showed up, worked hard, played hard, gave good advice. It was a good time. It was a good time. So this is the current roster. Great people, great men and women. We got a lot done. Thank you for your patience and your kindness. They really, a lot of people took personal time to assist people coming behind them. Hey, who's the right team? Should I build this? This is what I'm investing in. Nope, that person's not good. Hey, what about this? Pull that one guy out, add this one in. It was a good time. It really was a good time. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being the awesome cats that you are. Special shout out to my guy, Jack Reacher Jedi. Jack Reacher was a captain in the Alliance, but real life, he had to stop playing the game. And we appreciate you, brother. And we're just acknowledging this is a thing. It's just a game. It's just a game. So if real life changes the way we have to do things, that's okay. So, just trying to give the verdict. This is what we found over the course of this year. Marvel Strike Force is awesome. It is free to play friendly. It is new player friendly. I'm answering questions in the chat. You guys take it easy. Peace.